Welcome to Generations of Game, father-son podcast, sports podcast. He loves it. He loves it. He loves it.
No.
All right. This is episode number 8. Today we got a lot to talk about. Top headlines around sports. We're touching on 3 different sports. Post Super Bowl, we definitely got to talk about that. We'll get into that later in the show, so he can brag. We're going to talk NBA a little bit. We're going to talk Kevin Durant. We're going to talk the trades going on with the Lakers. We got just a touch on baseball, a couple trades, Bregman, Alonso, and then we got some football news besides just the Super Bowl as well. So we're going to get right into it. All right. We said on this show, talking about all the trades that were happening across the NBA, that Mark Williams was traded to the Los Angeles Lakers. Turns out he failed his physical, and that trade has been rescinded. The Hornets are trying to dispute that. This is something you don't see very often. So now the Los Angeles Lakers have acquired Alex Len, who's a Ukrainian-born player, went to Maryland. Then he went on to the Suns, Hawks, Kings, Raptors, Wizards, Kings again, somewhere in there for a second stint to get their 7-footer big man. Thoughts on that? Have you heard of a trade not going through because of physical? I know it happens every once in a while, but you don't hear them in kind of big name deals.
I've never heard the team that has tried to, like, the players on, like, I've never heard of the team that the player failed their physical trying to dispute that. Never.
Yeah, they're like, no, please take him, get rid of him.
I've never heard of that.
The other wild thing that happened is Dalton Knecht was back on the bench, and they showed him a few times and talked about it and then interviewed him because he was part of that trade going to the Hornets, that Mark Williams trade. And he said it just felt like a movie. Had to be like an out-of-body experience for him to get drafted by the Lakers, be a Laker, have a really good start to his rookie season. He flattened out just a little bit, but still having a good year. I'd call it a good year.
Mm-hmm.
Then to be traded, then to be back on the bench again. Like arguing, like, hey, hi, how y'all doing? I'm back. So we'll see what happens there. And I haven't seen Alex Len's game too much. Probably seen a few highlights here or there. He's gotten traded around a lot. He's in his 12th season. So we'll see if he's the big man answer that they need to make a push with Luka and LeBron. All right. Next up, Kevin Durant becomes the 8th player in NBA history to eclipse 30,000 points. Unreal. He's a bucket. No doubt about it. He's got the most points in Olympics, U.S. Olympics history. He's got the most Olympic gold medals. Now he's got 30,000 points. So I want to play a game with you. Okay?
Is it guessing players higher than him?
It is guessing the top 8, the 7 other players.
Oh, that's going to be...
Now, if you can do it in order, or at least some of them in order to start, let's start there. Go 1 through 7 and see who all you can get. Let's see what you got. Right off the bat. Number 1 scorer of all time. Go.
LeBron James.
Numero uno. Who's next?
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Goated.
Carmelo.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
you got the top 3 for sure. You're locked into those.
Carmelo Anthony is 7. So
Carmelo Anthony is outside of 30,000
Kevin
points.
Durant passed him? Or he never got 30,000?
He never got 30,000 points. It's close.
What?
It's close. He's number 10 all-time scorer.
I'm just going to name players, and then if they're one of them, I'm going to try and guess their place. Curry.
Nope.
Larry Bird.
Nope.
Jerry West.
Nope.
Wilt Chamberlain.
Yes, sir. Wilt Chamberlain.
Oh, okay. 7.
You want me to tell you what? Oh, he's 7. Yes. Number 7. That's who Durant is chasing down next.
Okay.
All right. That means you need 3 more.
Bill Russell.
No, Bill Russell did not have a lot of points. Shockingly.
Just a lot of championships.
Just a lot of championships.
Michael Jordan.
Jordan, of course. What number? You got 1, 2, 3, and 7, 8.
1,
So you got 4, 5, and 6.
4, 5, and 6.
What number is he?
6.
5.
5. Okay.
Okay, who's number 4? Who's number 6?
4.
Number 4. Number
I
4.
scored a lot.
Come on. This one's obvious.
Magic.
No, Magic's not a
Shaq?
scorer like that. Shaq is number 9. He's just outside of 30,000 points, too. Come on.
What?
GOAT conversation.
Kobe.
At least in this house. Yeah, Kobe.
Okay, 6. Last
Number 6. This one's tough.
Can you tell me the team? Or the where
I'll
they
tell
are?
you first. I will tell you team. I'll tell you first. Foreign-born player.
Hakeem.
No. Hakeem is number 14.
Okay.
Foreign-born, great. Arguably the GOAT of foreign-born players. Germany. Deutschland. Beat LeBron in a championship.
What? Who is this guy?
Beat Wade in a championship. Beat Bosch in a championship. So he beat Miami in a championship.
Bro, how am I so stupid? Dirk Nowitzki.
Dirk. Yes, sir. LeBron James, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Carmelo, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, Dirk Nowitzki, Wilt Chamberlain, Kevin Durant. That is your top 8 of all time. I just scribbled down a couple more. Then you got Shaq, Carmelo, Moses Malone, Elvin Hayes, James Harden, Hakeem, and Oscar Robertson.
James Harden.
I know. He can't score anymore because he doesn't have that, that step back and then jump into them, the pump fake, jump into them, and you got all those free throws. He's got to be up there on the free throws list for sure. Okay. Good job.
I was good.
That was really solid,
I
man.
think the only one
You needed a couple little clues. That was it.
I think the only one you told me was Michael Jordan and how he was 5.
Yeah. I
told
mean,
me
you
the
were
place.
close.
Yeah.
Still. You got that. You got it. You know game. You know ball. Okay. You know NBA for sure. All right. Next up, I was interested in this coming off this three-peat talk of the Super Bowl. Mac McClung looking for a three-peat in the dunk contest. Is he nice?
Who's Mac McClung?
Oh, he's the G League player who just went crazy. He was like a high school phenom. I remember seeing him dunking out of the gym in high school. And now he's won back-to-back dunk championships. You're not even paying attention.
No.
I just said ball. Now it's like you don't even watch basketball. Okay, granted.
Dunk competitions?
The All-Star game, I thought you'd be into dunk competitions. No?
It's
The
G
dunk
League.
competition.
It's a G League player.
He's won the NBA dunk contest 2 years in a row. He's nice. He's nice.
Okay.
Fine. We're skipping over it. Whatever. He doesn't care. He could care less, apparently. I think he wins a three-peat. His creativity and his bounce is elite. Elite. No, nothing. All right. Baseball. Davis likes to play baseball. He does not like baseball trivia and
There's
stuff.
so
All right.
many rules.
But it's just because it's such a precise game. It's the hardest game there is. Hitting a baseball. Ask Deion Sanders. Talks about it. The guy played every sport. He played football. He's arguably one of the best defensive players, maybe all-around players in NFL history. Says hitting that baseball is the single hardest thing in sports. I'm just saying.
Think about this.
I'm just saying. Alex Bregman to the Red Sox, 3-year deal, $120 million. So I can't believe how long it took for him to get a spot. It made me feel like he was holding out for something. I thought that he was holding out for more years. He wanted to lock himself down. He's like 30, 31 years old. He wanted to get to 37, 38. He wanted, a 6, 7, 8 year deal, right? Okay. So that he could lock in somewhere. He didn't get that. He got 3 years. with two options. He's taking those options because $40 million a year, you're staying in Boston, of course. But I also then heard that the Tigers offer him a 6-year, $171 million. So he could have got more years, not as much per year, and he would have been on the more upstart Detroit Tigers, who obviously made a run, but they're not the Boston Red Sox. So he chose the Boston Red Sox. He chose more per year, betting on himself that he can get another contract to get himself close to that 37, 38 years. So any thoughts on that? We don't like Alex Bregman in this house. Astros. Nope. The stank face is all I need to see. Davis is not into it. We don't care about Alex Bregman. The end. All right. The other one was surprising who locked in this last week was Pete Alonso. Back to the Mets. Another guy I thought was going to get a multi-year deal, 2-year deal. Again, betting on himself that he can get another deal. But I also was reading when I looked at this that
He's older, isn't he?
Scott Boras, I think he's like 30 also. Him and Bregman are around the same age. The polar bear and his agent, Scott Boras, the agent, 2 years ago turned down a 6-year deal.
What?
They didn't think it was big enough. They didn't think it was enough money.
What?
So they took the short term, and now I think they're kind of forced to take another short-term deal. So I don't know. What do you all think about these trades? These guys going for more years versus more dollars, and you see Shohei Ohtani getting a 10-year deal. You see Soto getting a 15-year deal.
I think he gets re-signed.
So okay, all right. On to some football. Just today announced the Jets are saying bye-bye to Aaron Rodgers. He will not be the quarterback of the New York Jets. Jets. Jets.
Who are you gonna get, Mr. Dumpster? Like,
they're gonna go after somebody in the draft, probably. So are they gonna be in a position to get Shedeur Sanders? I don't think
Quinn
so.
Ewers?
Maybe they have belief in somebody like that. They just aren't believing in Aaron Rodgers, man.
See, if I'm the Jets, I'm keeping him and getting a new quarterback to start, but he's had so much experience that keeping him there will help so much.
He's not known as like a leader of.
He knows how to win, though.
I know he knows how to win. He knows how to lose a lot though too.
Dang, putting shade.
I mean,
on
Jordan
the
Love
Packers.
came after him, sat behind him just like he did behind Brett Favre, and is a middle top tier quarterback. Right, pretty good.
Of all time or right now?
No, right now.
Okay.
In the league, number 7, 8 in the league. Let's say something like that. We're not going to debate that unless you want to debate that.
I'll debate that.
But I don't know if he's that guy who future quarterbacks are going to sit behind him and pick everything up and learn and then become elite because of that mentorship. He's just not known as that guy. But again, Jordan Love's doing all right, and he had him as a mentor. So, we'll see. Where do you think he goes, or does he retire?
How old is he?
39.
I mean, LeBron James is still doing it at 40.
He's right there. Maybe he's 38, turning 39. Does he go to the Vikings and then he completes the saga of Brett Favre? He goes Packers, Jets, Vikings. That would be the exact route that Brett Favre took, which would be totally wild. And the Vikings are potentially, obviously, in the market. I think Sam Darnold stays in Minnesota, ? I think so. I think he stays. So I don't think that there's a spot for Aaron Rodgers in Minnesota. And I don't think Minnesota wants any of that. I think they stick with Dak. I think Dak is still the guy. I mean, Schottenheimer's in there now, though, in Dallas. And so he might want to shake things up as well. The new coaches come in. They want to shake some stuff up.
Titans
Titans have a top pick. If they want a quarterback, they're going to get a quarterback.
Cam Ward.
More like the Raiders. Because they are at 6 in the draft. They don't think they could get a Shedeur Sanders or a Cam Ward there. You're not taking Quinn Ewers, or you're not taking a flyer on like Jalen Milroe at 6. You're just not.
So
Call
me crazy, but Jackson Dart.
Yeah, that's who
Andrew.
That's who Andrew said he was really liking. He thought that he was a sleeper.
He was going off.
Still, you're not taking a flyer at 6. You're not taking a hope and pray at 6. Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders are the only quarterbacks going in the top 10. Will either of them slip down to 6? It's possible. But now, we talked about coaching shuffles and quarterback shuffles. This is why that conversation was so important, because so many cogs start to fall into place because coaches move. They want to start with their own quarterback. They would rather draft somebody. They would rather make a trade in the open market and see if they can't get their quarterback versus taking the guy that's already there that hasn't won. And the reason that they're getting a job is because that team hasn't won. If they're winning, they're not changing their coach, right? So I don't know where that leaves Aaron Rodgers. I think he retires. I think he hangs him up. That's my guess. Last thoughts? Any last thoughts? Otherwise, we got next topic. Okay. Kellen Moore, 36-year-old Kellen Moore of Boise State quarterback fame. He's a Bronco on the blue turf, is going to the Saints. Head coach of the Saints. You were asking me, because he was the offensive coordinator of the Eagles, who we're going to talk about in a little bit, who now, if there was any question for Davis, that is his team. It's been his team. Granted, he kind of got behind them in the first Super Bowl, and you stuck with them. I'll give you that. We're going to talk about them in a minute. He was their offensive coordinator. He's known as a pass guy. That's who he was with Dak Prescott in Dallas as OC. That's who he was with Justin Herbert in San Diego as OC. He turned into a run-first OC, and now I think he's rounded out his game, that he's got a complete offensive mindset.
No offense to any teams that need a coach, but he led them to a Super Bowl with Saquon, Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, and Jalen Hurts. That's a really good four that you can do a lot with. So I don't.
And the best offensive line in football.
Yeah, it's hard to go from
with Dickerson, Juergens, Mailata, Lane, Johnson.
It's hard to go from really good to.
It's tough. It's going to test him because he's been put into really good offensive situations.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
The Saints in the first 2 games put up 50 spots and then did nothing for the rest of the season. So they got a couple weapons. They got Olave. Maybe Thomas can catch a ball again and not be injured.
What's his name? Alvin?
Yeah, Alvin Kamara. Yeah. So they got some offensive weapons. Now they had a big question mark too. Derek Carr. Is Derek Carr the quarterback of the future for the Saints?
No. Or
is Kellen Moore going after somebody? Aaron Rodgers. Is Aaron Rodgers going to the Saints? Is Sam Darnold going to the Saints? Are those the exact same player as Derek Carr at this point in their careers? That's the question.
Here's my question. Is Devontae Adams going to fake another injury? Is he so pissed that
he's leaving the Jets? He wants to go back to the Saints to play with Derek Carr, where he didn't get the chance to really flourish together in Las Vegas with the Raiders? I don't know.
He's so pissed that he went to the Jets. It's like just to get Aaron Rodgers in there.
And then new coach, Aaron Rodgers is out. More Devontae. Note to self, don't go chasing waterfalls.
Don't go to the Jets.
Don't. When in doubt, don't go to the Jets. Gotcha. Heard. Okay. Any other thoughts on that? 36. He's young. He's the youngest coach now in the league. We'll see. I haven't really heard him speak too much, so I don't know kind of his voice, his leadership, his mentality. I haven't heard a lot of it. I've seen it out on the field, so I'm definitely interested to get a sense of who he is as a coach, as a leader of men. All right.
Okay.
The Super Bowl. By now, everybody knows the Eagles pummeled the Chiefs. Now, the score was they only won by 18, but they pummeled them and they let them score a bunch at the end, but they pummeled them. 34-0. They pummeled them. Then they kind of took off the gas. They pummeled them. Okay.
I love it.
So, if you watch previous shows, you know that we had a show dedicated to just us picking all of our picks through the entire playoffs. I
sucked.
Was trash.
This kid whooped
I
him.
typically win the brackets around this place.
This kid whooped him.
I win the March Madness brackets, the playoff brackets, all of them. I usually can pick them. I was way off my game. Not even close. I had the Lions beating the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Now, I had the Chiefs losing in the Super Bowl.
They're the Lions.
So I knew they were coming up one win short. So, I didn't. I got nothing. You picked the Eagles from the get. You had no doubt in your mind. You did not waffle from that decision. You were of the age, right, where you were kind of saying, okay, who's my team? Now, I'm a Dodgers fan through and through. You can give me the UCLA Bruins. You can give me the Los Angeles Lakers. You can give me the Raiders and the 49ers from growing up. Those are teams that I've rooted for. But it's really only the Dodgers that I am jamming into my boys' heads that's our team. They are allowed to pick their own teams.
Yeah, because the other teams we have options for are the Raiders or the 49ers.
Who were just in a Super Bowl. What are you talking about? Come on.
Who just went 6-11?
Yeah, they were pretty bad this season, but they got injuries. Anyway, doesn't matter. We're talking about the Eagles. We're talking about the Super Bowl. First off, that Super Bowl record 126 million viewers. So people tuned in. People wanted to see the Eagles. People wanted to see the Chiefs. People wanted to see the three-peat. People want to see the stop of the three-peat. People want to see Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
They wanted to see Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar also sets a record for halftime shows. Beat out Michael Jackson, one of the greatest of all times. Halftime shows on top with Prince. Bruno Mars, I liked. Anyway, Kendrick.
So many people in my school said it sucked.
Said what sucked?
The halftime show.
Oh, I loved it.
We watched it.
Kendrick Lamar's different though. He's like a hip hop poet.
We watched it at Brecken's and it was meh.
He is so different. He's coming at you from so many different angles. He was not candy coating anything. He was going for the music. And so, yeah, it didn't have maybe as much glitz and flash and as many guest stars, but you got Sam Jackson narrating the thing. Come on. And a lot of it was very political. So, I think you guys probably didn't understand all that or you don't need to understand all that. So, but it set another record. That was the most watched halftime show of all times. So people were interested at least to be able to say, wow, Swift. Or they're interested to say, boo. People love both. Okay. The game itself. What did you see in that game? Why? How did the Eagles absolutely dominate?
Because Taylor Swift had her, who do I have to pay around here? Face. I'm not even joking. She was like.
There was that play on the first drive, questionable call, where everyone's like, here we go again. It's the Chiefs rigging it. Then there was a bad call the other way, and then it was a pretty clean game from there.
And then they got blown out. I wonder why.
Oh, the conspiracy theorist strikes. He is ever the conspiracy theorist. Here is the number one stat for me of this game. Number one stat. You gonna guess what it is?
Hang on.
Number one stat line for me of why they won. The Eagles won.
Their defense.
Be more specific.
Interceptions, turnovers.
No.
What?
Those were good. And that's a big contribution. They did not sack. They did not blitz one single time.
Fair.
Their front four was in his lunch pail, Patrick Mahomes, the entire game. He was singing and dancing back there. He was on ice skates back there. He was not comfortable. He did not look good.
No.
That's the worst game since the same thing happened to him against Tampa Bay in the Super Bowl when Tom Brady beat him in the Super Bowl.
Who has Tom Brady not beat?
In 2020. He's beat everybody.
Yeah, I know.
That was the number one thing to me. The fact that Carter and Hunt and those four up front, Sweat was filthy in this game.
Sweat was sweating.
That front four was able to do all that damage, which is why that secondary was just sitting. And then you got Cooper DeJean, Iowa boy, shout out. Gets the pick six. Bond gets a diving, nice grab for a pick. I mean, they looked totally dominant.
And the fumble.
Totally dominant. Because that secondary, the linebackers and secondary was able to just key in. That defensive line won that game. They won that game.
Yeah, I can.
They built all the confidence for the Eagles to go out there and play loose on offense. They built all of the doubt up in Kansas City. You could see it. Travis Kelce, he did not look good. And he said on his podcast, he did not do a good enough job of being a leader. He did not step up. He did not be a voice. But you've seen clip after clip after clip of Saquon was a vocal leader. He was saying, stay right here. Don't fall for it. Stay right here. Stay in the game. Stay in the zone. Stay right here. You know, he was telling everyone, calm down, calm down, calm down. When everyone saw that play and they go, oh, here we go. There's the refs calling it for the Chiefs again. He said, calm down, stay right here. And did not see that from Travis Kelce. Did not see that from Patrick Mahomes. And those two were the vocal leaders of that team. Chris Jones just looked. I mean, there's the meme of him down on his hands and knees with his head on the ground, just completely exacerbated by what was happening on the field.
He thought the Chiefs were gonna win.
Who did?
Chris Jones.
Oh, Chris Jones. Well, of course he did. He's got to think his team's going to win. And you know what? They're good again. So that's to me why they won.
No, but
the leadership on both sides of the ball and just
2 of their losses were blowouts. So how can they be that good?
Ferocious. Because they only had 2 losses, and one was when they sat every single starter. No.
They lost to the Bills.
Mm-hmm.
They lost to the Broncos, and they lost to the Eagles.
Okay, excuse me. Regular season, 2 losses. Yeah, and the Bills was not a blowout. That was close. And the Broncos, yeah, you shouldn't lose 38-0 against anybody, but no starters. Bills. They had no starters in.
Bills have to change something.
Okay, now, next question. The Eagles are built to repeat. I know you want them to because you're a fan of the Eagles. Do you think that the Eagles have a real shot to repeat? You know how hard that is.
Big shot. But
they lost Kellen Moore. We already talked about that.
Yeah.
Offensive coordinator.
Bills have to change something.
Vic Fangio, their defensive coordinator, man. I mean, he's a defensive coordinator like no other. He didn't do so well as a coach, coach the Broncos and stuff. Some guys just aren't built to take on the whole team. Nick Sirianni, first Eagles head coach to ever take a team to 2 Super Bowls for a storied franchise like that. They got a lot of pieces on the field. They got a lot of pieces off the field. Roseman, I think is his name, GM. Ownership. They got Bradley Cooper. No.
I know Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper's intro got them all hyped up, man. He's probably on his food truck cooking Philly cheesesteaks for them, getting them fired up. Let's go. All right. That's all we got. That's what we got for you for today. We got some baseball. We got some basketball. We got some football.
This guy's gonna fork over 20.
Super Bowl. Oh, so listen to this. I told him he could like pick a prize for winning, and he goes, $10.
I didn't know how high it could go.
He went low.
20, 20, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30.
I'll do 20. I probably would have done 50.
What?
And he asked for 10. Come on, kid. Let's go. That's it.
30.
Episode 8. Generations of Game. We out.